Richardson's suspension has sparked a debate over whether the substance should remain a banned one, since in most U.S. states it is decriminalized. Richardson, who was a medal favorite and expected to be serious competition for Jamaica's Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, the two-time 100-meter gold medalist. In an interview with the Newsroom Sport on Tuesday, Dr. Pilgrim explained the WADA rules don't necessarily target illegal substances and orders on the athletes to follow the rules.
There are 3 points that WADA looks at in putting things on the list in the first place. One of obvious is if it enhances or has the potential to enhance performance. Another is if it does or could have an effect on the health of the athlete. And finally is what WADA describes as breaching the spirit, violating the spirit of sports, which of course is a broad concept that may have different interpretations. I honestly can't say why marijuana was initially put on the banned list. But what I can say is that every year when the list is reviewed, there is widespread consultation, including all of these international federations. So if there was good reason to take it off the list, I would think it would have been taken off. That's very clear under the code that the athlete, you use the correct term, has a strict liability for whatever they take into their body. And Ms. Richardson herself, I must say I admire the manner in which she took ownership of what she did. She admitted, as I understand, in what I heard from her, that she knew, but that she's human and that she had reasons at the time with the death of her mother. But she knew. And athletes, especially at her level, are supposed to know and to take responsibility for what they eat, drink, or in this case, maybe smoke.
In 2019, WADA exempted cannabidiol from this category. However, all other cannabis, whether natural or synthetic, are prohibited in competition, even though CBD is permitted at all times.
What is important to remember also is that, as I think everybody now knows, marijuana, the metabolites of marijuana stay in your system for weeks, maybe up to 2 months, I think. But what the testing and the labs would look at is the level in your system. So if you smoke some weed a week before, 3 days before, you would expect that those levels would have decreased to below the level that they're looking at. I think it's 150 nanograms, something like that they're looking for now. So that makes a difference also when you're tested.
Should it be taken off the list? Dr. Pilgrim had this to say.
I know there are some things, and marijuana may be one, that arguably calms you down, cools you out, so to speak. So maybe for track and field, for a nervous athlete, for an athlete that may be prone to false starting, maybe, pure speculation, it may be considered that it helps them in that regard. Similarly for darts, which we were just talking about, shooting, the kind of thing where you need to be calm, you need to be relaxed. It could be considered that it enhances your performance. Maybe what should be done, and what I suspect may be done, is that similar to alcohol, which used to be banned in competition by WADA in certain sports, they may decide to leave it up to the international federations responsible for individual sports, whether they want to prohibit it during competition. That may be the next step, I suspect.
For the Newsroom, Akeem Greene.